of the humpback whale, a true heavyweight of the sea. A colossal creature, at up to 19 meters long and weighing up to 36 tons. But although its sheer size commands respect, its placid, peaceful nature and downright elegance are remarkable. Only a lucky few have ever come face to face with this gentle giant. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Adventure Ocean Quest. An encounter with the world under the waves. With divers who become underwater beings themselves. They work together with scientists on all the world's oceans. Deep under the surface of the water. Without a sound and without a breath. Adventure in the depths of the sea, the likes of which has never been seen before. The island of Rurutu in the South Pacific. An exceptional team of divers with a set of specialist skills is about to embark on a journey in the tracks of humpback whales. Their aim? To study the whales in an unusually intimate way. I think freediving is a very good way to explore the underwater world, and it's probably the less invasive way of exploring the underwater world. In spite of their massive size, whales are extremely shy animals and difficult to approach. Most people are only ever tolerated for a few seconds. There's still a lot to learn because we still have an estimation about 15,000 animals, maybe humpbacks in South Hemisphere, but among them only a few proportion has been identified with pictures to explore their secret lives beneath the waves. It is essential to meet the whales in their element and on their terms. Ce sont des énormes animaux. These whales are enormous. They're not small fish. They weigh 30 tons. That's a bit like an approaching bus. They are really majestic. C'est très majestueux. Rurutu is a tiny island in the middle of the South Pacific. Discovered by James Cook in 1769, it now forms part of French Polynesia. Few visitors ever set foot on this isolated island, so its greatest asset is its unspoiled wilderness. Only 7 kilometers long and 3 kilometers wide, it lies far off the main shipping routes. But it does lie right in the path of another very special route, the migration of the humpback whales. They were once hunted by the native peoples, but today, French Polynesia has been turned into a unique conservation area for marine mammals. Diving with conventional equipment is strictly prohibited here. It makes it an unusually safe and peaceful haven for the humpback whales. And this is where they come during the harsh winter months in their Antarctic feeding grounds. It is an epic annual trip of 7,000 kilometers. Although humpback whales tend to be loners, it is possible to find whole groups of them here. It is an ideal place for a whale nursery. The cows give birth to their calves in these warm tropical waters. Here their young are safe from deep-sea predators and protected from violent storms. It is mid-September. The intense tropical colors typical of these South Pacific islands have vanished, and Rurutu is immersed in the threatening gray of a tropical storm. The weather is unusually unpredictable and threatening. It's been raining for days. The idea of spotting whales just off the shoreline remains a distant dream. These are bad conditions for the freedivers Frederick Bouin and William Winram. Their expedition to find and catalogue the whales could be in jeopardy. They're on their way to assist Sissou Gaspard, a founder of the Polynesian conservation organization Te Mana o Te Moana, or Spirit of the Ocean. Hello, welcome to Polynesia. Hi, how are you for weather? How was the trip? Good? Oh, that's good weather. Tomorrow's better. The weather forecasts are very vague. The team can only hope for the best. Real. So we got tomorrow morning. Yes, the whales have been seen around, so we will have luck. Good. And so, let's go. Oh, good. Okay, go. Okay. Finding the whales in the waters around the Rurutu is usually not a problem. But they need better weather to conduct Sissou's study effectively. A lot of studies have been done on whales and other marine treasure. For the past decade, it's very interesting to get information. We know, for example, the whaling has damaged a lot of its population, and we also know now, we've studied that population is in a better shape. It starts to reproduce, and we hope this is going on the good side, but we're not sure, because there are so many changes in the world that maybe our hope right now is going to be really different in a few years. The new kind of research we have been developing with Fred, going in the water with the whale, and be very comfortable as a whale in the water, is going to help us having new type of information and also share it with other people. And this is one of the key where, if we could study wildlife without too much interference, we may get more information, more accurate information without too much disturbance. And so we hope that this is a new step in research, and that could be maybe an example worldwide about how human can use its ability to adapt to nature to better study. Finding a whale requires discipline and patience. Since whales tend to keep their bodies mostly submerged, it means having to spot a whale's back as it's about to dive. Even better is to search for the blow, the cloud of fine spray when the whale exhales on surfacing. But a whale. Oh, whales just blow the inos. But even once a whale is spotted, getting into the water with them and obtaining useful images is far from easy. The first thing is to locate the whale, since it's always in motion. When it's moving, it's tough to film it. So you have to wait until it finds a resting place. If you're watching a mother with her calf, you can wait until she feeds the baby. Then the whale will remain calm and still, and you can carefully enter the water. Right now, that's not possible. This whale is swimming around the island. It's moving, and we can't film it to it. The search for whales is tough and time-consuming. Even once a blow has been spotted, there is no guarantee that the whale will continue its travels in the same direction underwater. And actually getting into the water to attempt a closer encounter is only worth it when it's certain there's still a whale in the vicinity. The only option is to keep your eyes peeled and constantly evaluate the situation. But the team will also have to keep an eye on the tourist whale-watching boats. The danger when you are involved in ocean activities, it's always human. It's never the creature or the weather or anything. It's always human. And here the biggest problem is that we are like 4 boats around the whales. So you have to be very careful not to be run over by one of the boats. And more when day like that, there's not a lot of sun. All the colors are the same on the water, and which are quite dark. And you have to be very careful. So that's why we have to spot each other with William. In order not to be run over. But the whale watchers give up. Fred and the team have more patience and continue their search. Finally, a humpback whale. So the camera team gets ready. They will watch Fred from a distance. They're alive. Diving is usually strictly prohibited in the area. The loud noise associated with conventional diving equipment agitates the animals, and since they're supposed to be left in peace to mate and raise their new calves, these disturbances are not tolerated. But the free diving team has special permission to observe the whales underwater. Pre-divers are different. They move silently through the water. Years of training allow them to spend several minutes at a time below the surface. They are perfect underwater observers. They can search for the whales without the help of noisy technology and wait patiently until an opportunity arises to get close to the animals. But the whales are very alert. Despite the freedivers' utmost care, they soon put an end to their rest period and move on. The good news for the team is that they don't seem to be nervous. They even take the time to investigate the divers. It bodes well for any future encounters. Fred can clearly observe and document unique patterns on the whale's delicate underside. Conditions improve. The weather gradually clears up. But for now, the team's luck has run out. They don't spot any more whales. Fred and Will decide to find out more about the indigenous population who used to hunt whales around the island. Perhaps they can shed some light on the best places to find the whales. They visit the caves in which the original inhabitants lived, and from where they would look out for passing whales. The steep cliffs provided not only protection but also a good vantage point to scan the sea. Calm and protected bays allowed them to go out to sea even in rough weather. But reaching the caves is anything but easy and involves traversing difficult terrain. The caves themselves are also dangerous. Without a guide, it's easy to get lost in this underground network of chambers and tunnels. The native people had vantage points scattered across the island from where they could observe the whales. Rurutu's hills reach almost 400 meters above the sea level. There are no sign-posted paths up here. Time for a rest beneath some spectacular stalactites. Even today, there are still people on the island who remember the old whaling days and their ancestors' traditions. Fred has been told about Mama Pare, one of the oldest islanders. She's written a book about the history of Baruto. They don't think what? Perhaps she can explain the whale's current elusiveness after their initial brief encounters. We've been here for several days already, and we still haven't come close to any whales. Are there years when there aren't any whales here? Tout de baleines pour faire toutes les années, il y avait des baleines, mais on a entendu dire quand the whales come every year, the baleines pass. American and Japanese whalers killed hundreds of them, so now we see a lot less of them than in the past, and now the fishermen have to go on long journeys, sur la plage de garder parce qu'ils sont